Welcome to the deep dive. You send us the material you're curious about, and we dig in. We extract the core knowledge, the insights, to give you a solid understanding without, getting lost in all the details.
Exactly.
Today, we're plunging into, well, the very imaginative world of Zizou Corder's Lionboy. These early chapters, they've got this fascinating mix: adventure, family stuff, and some really unique elements like talking animals and some pretty advanced science.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So our goal in this deep dive is really to get a grip on the basic situation here.
Yeah.
Who are the main people? What problems are they facing right off the bat?
Mm-hmm.
And crucially, what are these compelling mysteries the author starts weaving right away? Okay, let's unpack what makes this book grab you from the start.
Okay. So we meet this young boy, Charlie, and his, well, pretty remarkable parents. The story kicks off with his mother, Professor Magdalene Start. She's hurt herself. And what really struck me immediately was how their world is set up through these homemade remedies she uses, the secret shock remedy and this blood stopper lotion, 27 Red.
Yeah.
It hints that their life isn't exactly ordinary, doesn't it? Makes you wonder, like, what kind of house is this?
It really does. Okay. And it shows us Charlie, how caring he is, helping his mom. But also, you see her trust in him, sending him off to her locked lab for this special lotion.
Right, the lab.
And that moment, it also introduces the parents, and wow, their credentials. Professor Magdalene Start, PhD, MD, all these letters after her name. Her work's so important, it's in a locked-up government lab.
Yeah.
And then his dad, Dr. Aneva Ashanti, Doctor of Endoterica and Tropical Sciences, Chief of Knowledge in Ghana, even called Brother of Lions. He's known for his expertise in West African plants.
What I found really interesting, actually, was how the book puts it. Their knowledge is like different ways of knowing about the same thing. You've got his mom, the modern scientist, all the gear, and his dad, the expert in traditional plant stuff. It kind of suggests the book might explore that whole intersection, science and tradition.
Good point.
And we also see Charlie, he's getting more responsibility, feeling pretty proud about doing grown-up things like fetching that lotion from the lab, which leads to something really interesting.
Absolutely, because that trip for the blood stopper lotion, it leads to something very strange, very significant.
Yeah.
We get this glimpse into his mother's lab, and like you said, it blends the old and the new. Modern tools right next to old books and dried herbs.
Yeah, it's like their expertise made physical.
Kind of, yeah. And then instead of just using the lotion, his mother does something, well, pretty dramatic. She writes a paragraph, signs it, using her own blood on parchment.
Whoa.
Yeah. Makes you really wonder about the urgency, the importance of whatever that message is.
It's such a powerful image, isn't it? The secrecy around it is just,
Right.
you can feel it. The way she rolls it up, ties it, hides it behind that specific photo, the honeymoon one in Venice. It just screams that this isn't just some note.
Definitely not.
And her instruction to Charlie, if you need to go anywhere, take it with you, feels like major foreshadowing, right? Suggesting something big, maybe dangerous is coming. Why Venice, though? Why hide it there? What's the significance?
That's a great question. Venice, maybe it represents, a happier time. Security. Hiding it there might be sort of connecting it to hope. Or a safer past, maybe. A contrast to now.
Could be.
And this whole thing, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. The story subtly mentions Charlie noticing things before the talking downstairs, hushed phone calls, people looking worried.
Right, the furrowed brows.
Exactly. It creates this feeling of unease, like something important is going on just beyond Charlie's grasp. And the blood letter becomes this tangible link to that mystery. What kind of trouble are his parents in?
Yeah, you start wondering. Then we get this really strong picture of Charlie's father, Aniba. The description, it really focuses on his size. He seems almost larger than life. Charlie even wonders about giant blood, which is such a kid's way of trying to process it. And comparing him to, like, museum armor, it really gives you a vivid sense of his presence.
It does. Makes you think about the protection he offers.
For sure.
And the book notes how people react to him. They make way. They look back after he passes. But it balances that slightly intimidating vibe with his smile. That sudden, warm smile shows there's more to him.
Yeah, appearances can be deceiving.
Right.
But that feeling of family safety, it breaks pretty quickly. We find Charlie alone, waiting for his dad near the station, and there's this real vulnerability starting to show.
Yeah, the shift is sudden.
His worry about his phone being stolen, it's relatable, for a kid in a city, but it also shows how much he relies on it, maybe to reach his parents, and his thoughts, like just racing through possibilities. Why isn't dad here? Should I wait? Go home? Try the university office? Except he doesn't even know where that is. Why this sudden isolation, do you think?
Well, it immediately raises the stakes, doesn't it? That feeling of being alone, uncertain, it sets up the next big thing, meeting Martha and her son, Rafi.
Ah, Rafi.
Yeah. And Rafi's manipulative side comes out almost right away. It's quite telling that Charlie spots it, decides to play dumb, shows he's got some street smarts, maybe more observant than he seems.
Totally.
Yeah.
And even while Rafi's leading him off, Charlie's thinking ahead. He quickly packs his bag essentials like the Swiss Army knife, socks, the solar panel, his asthma meds.
And that toy tiger.
Yeah, and the tiger. It's touching, right? Even in danger, he needs that comfort. He also grabs money from his mom's drawer, understands he needs resources, and he even quickly checks her handbag, clocks that little lapis lazuli sphere. Another one of those small details.
It makes you wonder, will that pop up again? The author's planting seeds?
Feels like it.
And just as he's leaving, boom, we get this totally fantastical element.
Yeah.
Petra, a talking cat,
Yeah.
delivers this short, cryptic message. Parents gone down toward the sea, the river cats, the sea cats, they know.
Right.
And she tells him he's not alone. That's huge. Hints at this hidden network of animal help. It's a real turning point, suddenly mixing this very real situation with something, well, extraordinary. How does Charlie even react to that?
It's interesting. He doesn't seem totally floored by it, which makes you think maybe talking animals aren't completely unheard of in his world, or maybe things are just so urgent he accepts it.
Could be.
But before he goes with Rafi, he remembers the blood letter, grabs it from behind the photo. He clearly knows it's important, his link to his parents and whatever's happening. It reinforces his mission, even if he doesn't know what it is yet.
And then the story flips perspective. We see his parents, and yeah, they've been kidnapped. It's serious.
Very serious.
Their first thought is for Charlie, which really underlines that family bond we saw earlier. And even though they're scared, they're determined to be clever to get back to him. Their whispered chat about Martha and Rafi betraying them and not knowing who took them. It ramps up the tension. Who is behind this?
And then Aniba's realization, I think this is a submarine.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're completely isolated, underscores how serious this is. But even then, there's that little bit of dark humor between them, that defiance, shows their resilience, their partnership.
It's amazing how fast the stakes have jumped for everyone.
Absolutely. So Charlie leaves with Rafi, but he's resourceful. He manages to escape early the next morning, finds his way back to the river.
Right.
And his chat with Mr. Ubsworth, the fish stall guy, it's like a brief moment of normal and all the chaos. Even that little detail about his dad saying Africans don't eat snakes, but his mom might, adds a bit more flavor to their family.
Meanwhile, Rafi finds out Charlie's gone. And he's not just surprised, he's furious.
Yeah. And what's telling is he seems more worried about his rep as a teenage criminal than about Charlie himself.
Totally.
His panic, sending those fake emails to cover it up, shows how manipulative he is and also how scared he is of this chief executive.
Who is this chief executive? Makes you think there's a bigger organization pulling the strings.
Definitely feels like it. So Charlie's on the run, and then he gets help from another talking cat.
Yeah.
Guides him to the River Police Marina.
Right. The cat network is real.
Seems so. And Charlie sneaks onto the launch, following the cat's directions. Shows he can adapt, learn fast in danger. But even hiding there, he's thinking about Rafi, knows he's not safe yet.
But then, despite getting away, he has this moment of doubt. It hits him how huge this is, finding his parents. They could be anywhere.
Yeah, the reality sets in.
He wonders if running was smart. But it doesn't last. He finds his determination again. He has to try. Shows real inner strength, right?
It really does. And you see the contrast, Charlie's resolve growing while Rafi's just getting more desperate and angry.
Yeah.
Rafi taking it out on his dog, Troy, shows a nasty side, makes Rocky clearly the antagonist here, and highlights Charlie's courage for defying him. Charlie's facing threats from multiple places now.
So Charlie's on the police boat now, watching the city fade. He tries leaving a message for his dad, trying to be careful, not reveal too much.
Right, the coded message attempt.
Yeah, pretending he's still with Martha and Rafi, but hinting he's traveling. Clever try. But then he realizes, oh, I should have mentioned the cats. Highlights how weird his reality is now.
And then we get that flashback. Charlie, as a kid in West Africa with his dad.
Right, in the forest.
Emphasizes his dad's connection to nature, his knowledge, his courage. Navigating the wild, that story about the leopardess and the antidote.
Yeah, that was cool.
Shows his resourcefulness, his respect for nature. Makes you wonder if Charlie will need those kinds of skills himself soon.
Definitely plants that seed. Back in the present, Charlie's being practical, setting up his solar panel for the phones. Smart kid.
self-reliant.
And the bloodletter comes up again. He realizes it's a key clue from his mom. And his thought, somebody's after their brain power. That's a big step, right? Understanding the motive. He's starting to connect the dots.
Meanwhile, we find out why his dad didn't answer the phone. Kind of anticlimactic, actually.
Oh, yeah.
No signal underwater. And Sid borrowed the phone to play Snake. A little bit of normal life in the middle of the drama.
Right. On the sub, Aniba's defiant, demanding his phone, demanding answers. Where are we? Why?
Yep. And Magdalene's still whispering worries about Charlie. Their focus is still on him. Aniba's struggling internally, wants to escape, but also needs to understand why this is happening.
Yeah?
Shows his analytical side.
Yeah.
And him speaking Twi, a language the guards won't get. Subtle resistance.
Yeah, definitely. They're still focused on Charlie, even stuck down there.
Then Charlie's journey takes another weird turn. He gets found on the police boat by a ballerina and a cowboy.
From the Circe, the circus ship.
Right. The cowboy's got a fake-looking gun. There's a monkey in costume.
Yeah.
Sets this really whimsical, kind of surreal scene.
Yeah.
The ballerina wants to chuck him overboard, but the maestro steps in. And suddenly, Charlie's aboard the Circe. And hey, his French comes in handy right away. It's like he's fallen into a completely different world.
A bizarre one. The Circe itself sounds like quite a character, this big old ship. And meeting Major Maurice, that weird handstand request.
Strange, yeah.
But Charlie figures it out fast. It's a circus. Still, he's frustrated. He can't leave. He needs to find his parents.
Understandable. Then Pirouette and Madame Barbeau explain the setup. It's literally a circus on a boat. Charlie learns about the ring, the performers living there, this odd family.
And Makomo, the lion trainer.
Yeah, and Charlie gets this uneasy feeling around him. Fear, even. Which is interesting, given they're both African. What is it about Makomo?
Good question. He just gives off bad vibes, I guess. We also meet the twins, Sarah and Tara, living in the figurehead.
Weird.
And Hans and Julius. And Julius tells that dark story about a boy helping with lions getting thrown overboard by Major Tibb. Adds a sinister edge to the whole circus thing. Who can Charlie actually trust here?
Exactly. So Charlie tries checking voicemails, hoping for news, nothing on his mom's. But then he gets a really nasty, threatening message from Raffi.
Reminder that he's still being hunted.
Definitely. Then he meets Sigismondo, the acrobat, who offers to teach him. Seems random, maybe kind, but you wonder, will acrobatics be useful later? It's like Charlie's getting threats and potential help all mixed together.
Just when things seem maybe okay, boom, another voicemail from Raffi. Even nastier this time. The pressure's still on.
Meanwhile, Makomo puts Charlie to work, setting up the chainmail curtain for the Lion Act. Dangerous job. Emphasizes the risks, even in the circus.
And Raffi, realizing Charlie's not coming back, he hires someone, a research villain, he calls them, to find Charlie, who he calls young and wimpy. Shows Raffi's determined, willing to bring in outsiders.
But on the flip side, Charlie starts bonding with the young lion. Makomo notices Charlie calms the lions, so he lets him interact more. And then, the wink.
Yeah. The wink and the head jerk from the lion suggests an alliance, right? Some kind of communication. It's fascinating, this connection building between them.
It really is. But Makomo sees it too, gets suspicious. Charlie has to think fast, pretends he hurt his finger. Seems to work, for now.
Yeah, close call. We also get more info from Julius about their route. Le Havre, then up the Seine to Paris. Gives Charlie a destination, at least.
And Hans, the muddy boy, gives us that funny bit about the learned pig not being as smart as some horse in France. He also mentions the Circe's steam calliope, that super loud organ they'll use in Paris. Calls it a horrible noise. Wonder if that noise will cause problems later.
Good point. A loud organ on a boat isn't exactly subtle. Then, the huge moment, the young lion speaks to Charlie.
Cat.
Yeah. Reveals his parents are on another ship, the Shark Hawk. Says the Ruins cats pass the message along, and the Shark Hawk isn't far ahead. This is massive for Charlie. A real lead.
Huge. And the lion also talks about the older lions, how tired they are, losing hope. Really highlights their situation. Then he asks Charlie directly for help. Says he trusts him.
That solidifies it, doesn't it, the alliance? Puts a lot on Charlie's shoulders, though. His ability to talk to animals is clearly key now.
Totally. And Charlie gets it right away. The lions can help him rescue his parents. He comes up with a plan fast, asks the lion to roar when he calls Raffi.
And the prank call, the lion roaring, terrifying Raffi. It's a great moment for Charlie, using everything he's got.
Meanwhile, on the Shark Hawk, a marmalade cat turns up. Brings Magdalene paper, a pen, urges her to write.
Another cat messenger?
Yep. Magdalene writes a note, ties it to the cat's collar. She and Aniba talk about this unlikely postman, a tiny bit of hope for them.
But it's quickly dashed when Winner, the guard, taunts them about reaching their destination, meeting personnel, and the chief executive still facing serious danger.
Back on the Circe, we get Claudine, this lazy French cat in Le Havre, agrees to deliver the note but falls asleep.
Typical cat.
And the Marmalade cat, having seen the parents move to a motorboat, heads back to England. It's amazing how these animal actions are weaving through the plot.
It really is. Charlie, meanwhile, he's settling into the circus community a bit, spending time with Makomo, the others. But his mind's on the lions, on the plan.
Right. His risky plan to use his mum's lotion to make Makomo sleepy. And the lion suggested finding something for the oldest lion, too, to boost his spirits.
Audacious. But he's determined. He manages to slip the lotion into their drinks. Small win.
We get more journey details. Paris is 234 miles, 6 locks, maybe 6 days. The Circe is slow, usually, except for that one time they speed up.
Oh, yeah, to free that stranded boat with their wake. That was cool. Shows the ship's power and the crew working together.
But then Makomo clamps down, forbids Charlie from going ashore in France, makes him guard the lions. Charlie's frustration must be building, desperate for news.
Yeah, we get descriptions of the Seine, the locks. Amfreville lock sounds huge. All new experiences for Charlie, delaying his real goal.
And when he's feeling low, Mademoiselle Cat says something really weird. That everybody's looking for them, knows the story of his parents, hints they're important people.
But then she doubts if Charlie is the boy, adds more mystery.
Right. Finally, they reach Andressi, and Sergei, this mangy black cat, shows up with the note. Magdalene's note, chewed up, but it's there. Charlie must have been ecstatic.
Oh, absolutely. Reading it, knowing they're alive, they know he's trying. Huge relief.
Sergei, after some cake and anchovies.
Weird combo.
Yeah. He explains he got the note from a posh girl in Le Havre who got it from the Marmalade cat. Connects the dots. He even claims to know their history, calls Charlie their appendage. More mystery about who they are.
But Charlie's smart. He doesn't push Sergei for details, remembering the suspicious French cat earlier.
Good call.
He sends a reply with Sergei, mentions bringing bigger kids to read his sister's code for the lions, probably. Sergei heads off to Paris, planning to ask the local cats about the famous English couple. Charlie hopes Rafi still doesn't know where he is. This cat network is just amazing.
It really is unique. Charlie then talks to Julius about famous circus folk in Paris, especially lion trainers.
Right.
Julius gets all excited, lists names, Van Ambro, Cooper, Dreisbach, talks about their styles, how Makomo dislikes Dreisbach, and he raves about Mabel Stark.
The female tiger trainer.
Yeah, loves her tigers, wears white leather. Julius says lots of people, including Dreisbach, are kind of smitten with her. Makes you wonder if she'll play a role.
Definitely feels like she might be important. An ally, maybe. Julius confirms she's in Paris right now. Adds to the tension for their own show.
Then another cryptic message from Sergei. Just one word. Venice.
Venice again.
Charlie figures it means Venice is the next stop if he doesn't hear from his parents in Paris.
So Charlie feels more in control now, focusing on the escape plan. Confirms where the lion cage key is. Decides. No word in Paris, straight to Venice. Tries to ignore the Rafi worry for now.
Right. He asks Sigi about the Tukul. Turns out it's this really hard human pyramid the Lucidi family does. Shows their skill.
Sigi then lays out their Paris plans, Canal Saint-Denis, stalking near Bastille, parade show, party, and then their long-term travel plans. Mediterranean, Italy, Spain, maybe back to Britain, a real nomadic life. Emphasizes Charlie's just passing through this world.
Just as Charlie's feeling maybe a bit more settled, bang. Another message from Rafi. Hateful, taunting, claims he's with Charlie's parents now.
Oh, that's brutal. Just a constant reminder of the danger.
The Circe finally gets to Paris. Calliope blasting that horrible noise. Performers handing out flyers. Public seems excited.
They go through a double lock, descending steeply. Makes Charlie think of Orpheus going into the underworld. Dramatic.
Yeah. Then into that dark tunnel Napoleon built. Eerie light shafts from above. Very atmospheric as they arrive in the heart of Paris.
They emerge near the Bastille. Crowds waiting. Lucidus handing out flyers. Calliope playing. Charlie sees the Bastille monument, the Liberty statue.
And feels his parents' liberty is further away. Sad moment.
Yeah. Then Makomo calls him, gives him a lion tamer outfit for the parade, says Charlie knows what he can do and he'll be riding the young lion. Instructions for the show later. This forces Charlie's hand, right? Escape has to happen soon.
Definitely speeds up the timeline. Charlie quickly tells the lions the plan. Leave after the evening show. use the towpath, cross the bridge to the station, catch a late train to Venice. Admits crossing the bridge with 6 lions is risky.
Very risky. They finalize the plan late that night. During the parade, there's that tense moment when the young lion swipes at Charlie when he pretends to try and ride him.
Smart move by the lion. Deters Macomo for now. Shows their teamwork.
Amazing cooperation. Macomo, clearly stressed about the premiere, stops Charlie scouting the route again by demanding a neck massage. But despite everything parents escape, Rafi Charlie's actually excited to see the circus show. Gets to sit with the ring boys.
A lion act sounds incredible. Roars, pretend fight, the lioness is doing the bounce. Audience is scared, excited, amazed.
While the show's on, Charlie's mentally reviewing the escape route. Packing his bag, phones, bloodletter, meds, tiger, knife, lapis lazuli, and food for everyone.
He has that brief, nice interaction with Mabel Stark. She calls him Lionboy. Thanks him for helping. Shows her kindness.
Then the learned pigs act. Doing math, picking the most beautiful lady, funny stuff.
Leads into that totally absurd duel. Blindfolded clown versus blindfolded pig with a pistol in its mouth.
Ridiculous.
The pig dies, gets dragged off, then reappears chasing the clown. Audience loves it. Then the high wire act, trick writing.
But then the mood shifts drastically. Charlie spots Rafi talking to Macomo.
Oh, no.
He feels sick, confused. Why is Rafi here? What's their connection? Then a drunk guy starts yelling, disrupting the show. Chaos.
Macomo keeps talking to Rafi, who looks unimpressed. The drunk keeps yelling.
And
then Macomo points Charlie out to Rafi. Rafi stares right at him.
Chilling. The danger is right there. Rafi being here is a massive problem Charlie didn't expect.
Instinct kicks in. Charlie ducks into the shadows. The fear triggers his asthma. He needs his inhaler breathing exercises.
And then Rafi and Macomo move closer, pretending to pee, getting nearer to his hiding spot. Nightmare scenario.
Meanwhile, back with the parents. They're being moved again from a parking lot into this creepy, corpusy gated village community.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, the receptionist is bizarrely cheerful, even though they're tied up, gagged, surrounded by guards. Super unsettling.
Back at the circus, Charlie makes his move. Leads the lions out into the Paris night. Strange smells, the canal, then a locked gate, obstacle.
But they find a homeless man nearby. Charlie tries Arabic. Salam alaikum. The man says the gate's open, points the way to the bridge. A little bit of luck.
They get to the riverbank, midnight, deserted. But they know crossing that bridge with 6 lions. Huge risk. Anyone could see them.
The lions are focused, united. Helps Charlie, probably. But then, terror. Another lion appears. But this one's huge. Saber teeth.
Oh, like Priest's story!
It seems like it. Charlie screams. Understandable.
The circus lions bravely face off against it, create a diversion so Charlie can get away. Incredible loyalty.
They reach the train tracks. But then 2 train workers see Charlie.
Oh, caught again.
He thinks fast, plays the lost kid card again, cries for mummy.
Does it work?
It does. They buy it. Think he's lost, put him on the train, tell him to find his mum.
Wow. Close call after close call. So he's on the train, safe for now, finds himself in this fancy corridor.
Hides in a bathroom. Needs to breathe, tries to process everything, the escape, Rafi, the saber-toothed lion. Hopes Rafi won't find him before the train leaves. Notices the bathroom smells nice, oddly enough.
Then the door opens. It's this fat, kind of regal guy and his attendant, Edward. Turns out, it's King Boris of Bulgaria.
No way.
Yeah. The king's super nice, offers pajamas, food. Charlie has a chicken sandwich, milk in a goblet, falls asleep exhausted in a comfy bunk.
Wakes up smelling bacon. Sees the king next door looking comfortable, joins for this amazing breakfast served by Edward, intrigued by servants.
He asks the king why he locked the bathroom door last night. The king just jokes, danger of assassins.
Though maybe not entirely a joke.
Possibly. Then Edward comes in, calls him, Your Majesty. The reveal. King Boris of Bulgaria.
Wow.
But then things get serious. Edward says railway staff are asking about a boy found on the tracks.
Oh.
King asks what they'd do. Edward says Charlie would be a stowaway.
So King Boris protects him.
Immediately. Tells Edward to say the boy's not on the train anymore. Just like that. Charlie, feeling braver now, asks if the king knows about his parents.
And he does.
He confirms he's had inquiries made, and he mentions this group, the Allergenes.
Allergenes?
Yeah. Says they might be involved. They oppose any allergy cure because they profit from selling allergy meds.
Okay, that makes sense. Horrible sense.
Edward adds that Charlie's parents were working on asthma prevention. Made a big discovery. The king explains the huge money involved in suppressing an asthma cure.
So that's it. That's the motive. Charlie finally gets it. His parents' work threatens powerful companies. Exactly. Edward suggests the British government won't help much, doesn't want to upset the drug companies.
Awful.
King Boris sees how upset Charlie is and offers him and the lions sanctuary at his place in Venice.
Wow, an actual king offering help.
Yeah, Charlie feels overwhelmed, small against these huge forces. But he knows he has to trust the king. He tells the lions the king knows, wants to meet them, explains why he trusts him.
And the lions agree.
They do. Reassured by Charlie, by the offer of help, they agree to meet King Boris. And Charlie, with this new, powerful ally, feels this surge of confidence, ready for anything.
And that's where our source material cuts off, leaving Charlie and the lions heading to Venice with the king. So many questions left.
Right. So to wrap up this deep dive into Lionboy, we got Charlie's parents kidnapped over their science work, Charlie determined to find them. He's teamed up with talking lions, and now they're heading to Venice with King Boris of Bulgaria. Quite a setup.
Yeah, the story really blends reality and fantasy talking animals, weird science, but the core themes are strong. Family loyalty, bravery, facing down powerful enemies.
And we got those aha moments, right? Understanding why they were taking the allergens, wanting to stop their research.
Definitely.
So the question for you listening is, what happens next in Venice? What challenges await Charlie and the lions there? How much can King Boris actually help? And what exactly was that research his parents did?
Compelling stuff. Maybe it makes you want to grab the book and find out what happens next in this adventure. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring.